What is up, Coach Spires here, and today we're going to be talking about becoming a 5-tool athlete. This is actually going to be a 4-video series, so make sure to catch the others. We're going to be talking about today building a solid foundation. Okay, so when I say that, what I want you to think about first is a skyscraper, right? Okay, our training, our development as an athlete is very much similar in the sense, all right, if you have this huge building that you want to withstand the test of time, you know, Mother Nature and just everything that happens in life, we have to start with a solid foundation. If you ever watch them build any building whatsoever, the point at which they take the longest time is setting that foundation. Because once that is set, you could build everything else on top of it. This is called phase potentiation, okay? So basically all phase potentiation means is that the following phase builds on the previous, right? So we want to develop skills so that we can receive the benefits throughout all the phases, okay? So again, that's why we call our first phase of our Bomb Squad program, which is for rotational athletes, baseball and softball specifically, we call that first phase foundation, okay? So some things to focus on if you are a rotational athlete, a baseball, softball player, and you're trying to become that 5-tool athlete, and the way we set a solid foundation first and foremost is with our sprinting technique, okay, and improving that here, okay? Because when we think of baseball and softball, we have to think about the qualities needed to be successful, and reality is you're going to bat at least 2 to 3 times a game. So every opportunity there is a chance for you to sprint and hit max velocity sprint, okay? And then also to anywhere on defense, of course, when you're chasing down the ball, you got to be quick and fast, right? So things that we do within our program to develop this, we use things like wickets. So this really helps to reinforce high heel recovery, also to attacking back, just a solid run cycle for the athlete, okay? We also like to use different cone drills to work through the drive phase through acceleration. So we have 3, 4 cone, we got 7 cone drills. These all work on the first 3, 4, 7 steps, so to speak, and how you approach those. And then also 2 things like resisted sprints, okay? Sprints. All right, so these are all different things that we use within our initial phase, along with other drills to improve that sprinting technique, okay? Because that's going to allow that athlete to maximize the force that they're able to create and utilize that into the ground, okay? Another thing that's super important here is building muscle. Main reason being is the more muscle you have, the more capabilities you have to produce force, okay? So more muscle equals greater force capabilities. And when we say that, we're not talking about getting bodybuilder big or anything like that, but most athletes all can benefit from building a little more muscle, okay? And more muscle does not mean more tightness. If you're training correctly, you will be just as flexible as ever, okay? So also too, we want to do things to increase work capacity. Another thing, one way we want to think about this is we want to be conditioned, okay? So one thing that we do during this is we do have higher volume sets during our foundation phase. 1, to build that muscle, but also 2, to condition the body to withstand high amounts of force and then higher amounts of work capacity. Because technically, as we get through these phases, our reps are technically going to decline, but the effort is going to be higher because you're going to be stronger, you're going to be more powerful, you're going to be more explosive, so you're going to utilize more energy, right? So we got to find ways that we can still use a lot of energy up front to condition the body for later on, okay? Another thing we got to do during this is we want to improve lifting technique and also choose strength, okay? Lifting technique mainly because if we're doing something like a jump squat or a trap bar jump, if you don't have good form, you put yourself at greater risk for injury, right? So we want to think about reducing injury, right? Just for this phase and future phases. And then another way to think of strength is force, right? So if I get stronger, I'm going to create more force, right? And the last and not least, but increased mobility. This is highly important for rotational athletes so we can really utilize that shoulder-hip separation and get a good stretch, whether hitting a puck, hitting a baseball, or throwing something, right? Okay, so things that we can do, first and foremost, especially for throwers, is trap raises or anything for the traps themselves. Again, because traps, strong traps, help for overhead shoulder stability, okay? So any type of thrower, whether you're football, baseball, whatever, trap raises are highly important for shoulder health, okay? All right. Okay, so we have that. Also too, we want to think of things like Cossack squats, so things that develop hip mobility. Okay, we have these within our program, so those are the hips. Okay, developing that hip mobility is super important. And last but not least, but in performing plyometrics, okay, you're going to see plows in all of our phases, but this initial phase, we're just going to teach the body how to land, how to manage forces, and then we're going to build on those qualities as well. So starting with deceleration and kind of working from there and everything, okay? So this is how we approached our foundation phase. There's definitely a lot of heavy focus on strength and building muscle and really incorporating plows. We do have a little bit of introductory med ball stuff, but we figure a lot of your rotation is going to come from the sport, and then we'll develop that in later phases. So again, if you want a program that's built out to help you become a 5-tool athlete, I highly suggest you check out our Bomb Squad program. It's with our Elite Athlete Project membership. Link will be down below. Okay, so if you're a rotational athlete, you can fully take advantage of that. If not, make sure to stick around for our next videos on becoming a 5-tool athlete. I'll see you then.